This is Grunau in Austria, Europe, the world. Alright, excuse me while I set this up for a sec. My name is Thomas Russell and I am doing this video log to talk to mainly my friends, but inform the world of what I've been up to. Last year I finished my Year 12 VCE, which is, you don't know what that is. I finished secondary school, and I've decided that I will be taking a gap year, which I'm in the midst of, obviously. And for the first 7 months I held a full-time job at my old school to save up money to come over here, which is Europe. And I've been travelling for 2 months already. Got 2 months to go, so I've decided to do this halfway there video log, I guess you can say, to let you know what I've been up to. So on the 15th of August, my girlfriend Tess and I left Tullamarine Airport and came over here to Heathrow Airport in London. Since then we've visited 10 countries, 19 cities, and don't worry, I'm not going to go through them all. So I'll just basically give you a rundown of some of my favourite parts of the trip, some must-sees in my opinion, and yeah. So basically we spent 5 days in London before we caught a train underneath the English Channel to Paris, where we started our Busabout loop. Which a Busabout is a company where you can hop on, hop off buses that take you around Europe to designated areas that you've chosen before you've gone on your trip. And that's where we've seen most of our cities and countries, but after Busabout we'll be doing our own independent thing, and that all wraps up in about a week, 2 weeks. So where have we been? Well, obviously Paris is a good start. That's where we started Busabout. We've been there again since, and we're going there for another 2 nights. In Paris, I mean, you could spend so much time there. There's so much to do. I mean, in that week alone that we spent there, we did all touristy type things. We haven't visited any markets. It's just taken that long to get through. You can't call it everything because we haven't seen everything yet, but my favourite moment of Paris was our first night in Paris. We spent underneath the Eiffel Tower, and most people just go to Paris, come back with photos, maybe a video of the tower, maybe lit up. But while Tess and I were waiting for the tower to light up on the hour, we noticed a couple walking through the park in front of the Eiffel Tower, and they were in wedding attire, and I was just like, what the hell is going on here? What is this? And as it turned out, they were a Polish couple that had decided to come down and celebrate their wedding in Paris, which was pretty special. And completely separate to this was a busker named Yuri. And Yuri decided to play at the Eiffel Tower on this particular night, and he didn't know the couple were going to be there. So as they're walking through the park, he starts his set, and he starts with Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. So I'm thinking, oh, this is really awesome that, you know, they've got their own little singer guitar player who's come along to, you know, celebrate their wedding. No, he's just doing his own thing. It was the most coincidental, serendipitous thing I've ever seen in my life, and what was supposed to be just a, you know, casual visit to the Eiffel Tower turned into a 3-hour busking concert in front of the Eiffel Tower, filled with a wedding dance, everyone getting involved, and I got the whole thing on this camera. So for me, that's probably been the highlight of the trip. I kind of set the expectations higher after that. But no, that was something special. I'll never forget that. What else has happened? We made our way around to Spain eventually. Barcelona was amazing. We checked out, you know, La Sagrada Familia, Park Güell, all that Gaudi stuff really made Barcelona for me. That was amazing. Just, I've never seen anything like it. It's art I could really appreciate. But eventually we made our way around to San Sebastian. We were originally supposed to stay there for one night, but we got there and I wasn't expecting it. We got there on the day that the International Film Festival was starting in San Sebastian. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have aspirations to become a film director. So for me this was perfect, and our one night stay got extended to 5 nights, and we saw 3 films in our time there. My first night there I bumped into, but obviously didn't nag her. Bit starstruck though, by a lady called Olivia Williams, who stars in The Ghost Rider. So I was like, oh my god, if this is just the start, who else am I going to bump into? I only bumped into one more celebrity. I only bumped into one, because we all bump into celebrities every day. But went to the screening of a film called Happy Thank You More Please. And it was only when I really got inside the cinema that I knew, that I found out it was written and directed by a guy called Josh Radnor, who you will see him maybe in How I Met Your Mother. He's Ted, I think, in How I Met Your Mother. And this was a midnight screening, and for it to be a midnight screening, there were way too many people inside the auditorium. There was heaps of media and heaps, like, it was packed. And it just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, Tess, something's going on here. Something's going to happen. I don't know. And sure enough, Josh Radnor came and presented the film to everyone, and it was cool, like, being in the same room as a guy who's talking about his film, and he's all famous and stuff. And that made San Sebastian for me. That was something amazing. So yeah. And then after San Sebastian we headed back up to Paris and started our north loop of bus about. It started in a place called Bruges. Now, most of you have probably only heard of Bruges once in your life, maybe in the film In Bruges. It's amazing. I'm not sure whether it was the fries or the waffles, or the fact that it was the first place Tess and I visited that was freezing. Something like actual touristy weather where you can actually stand to be outside for extended periods of time, provided you're rugged up. But Bruges was amazing. It was just, you know, tiny town, tiny city, whatever you want to call it, and it had everything you would need to survive, I reckon, no matter who you were. It had great food, maybe not the healthiest of food. Had so many clothing stores, so Tess was in shopping heaven. And I mean, it was just so quaint and peaceful, not crowded like most of the places we've been. The views were spectacular from the Belfry. I just loved being there so much. I didn't want to leave. But you know, as we continued on our north loop, I found that most places, you know, had the whole cobblestone street feel that I really loved about Bruges. So it's not over yet. I mean, we're still right in that whole, you know, frosty European feel, so it's okay. But Bruges was a really good introduction to that that kind of city. After that we went to Amsterdam, then Germany to Berlin. Berlin! Oh my goodness. If there is one place you have to go to in Europe, it's Berlin, because it is so important that everyone goes there to learn about A, the Second World War, and B, the Berlin Wall. They are just two important things, not only in Germany's history but the world's history, and you really have to see exhibitions and visit concentration camps to appreciate how lucky you are wherever you are around the world, provided you have your freedom. It's just, it was incredible. I mean, we would spend the whole day at a concentration camp, Sachsenhausen, just outside of Berlin. The four of us that we travelled together to Sachsenhausen, we were virtually silent the whole day. It was just, I've never been confronted, you know, to just be in a room where people have been slaughtered by the thousands. It was, you know, all your little problems, they don't matter anymore. So I'm so glad I saw something so dark. It just makes you really appreciate life. Well, enough of that. After Berlin, went to Dresden, another little town in Germany. Just trying to think. Český Krumlov in the Czech Republic. And we went to Prague. I probably expected a little bit more of that, but it was okay because eventually we got to Český Krumlov. Really quiet little place. Again, I've got a real thing for these quiet places. I don't know. I just away from all the hubbub of, you know, tourists being tourists, and it was just so quiet there, and the view's magnificent from the castle. And a friend of mine who I've met on the trip, he convinced me to go on a motorised scooter ride with him. That was the best €12 I've ever spent. We had it for 24 hours, probably spent, I don't know, maybe 8 of those hours tops on the bike, just zooming around Český Krumlov and out of town. And it was just, you know, one of those spontaneous, oh, we're in Europe, let's go on a motorised scooter and check out the place. And I would not regret it. So Adam Madrick, thank you very much for convincing me to jump on that bike with you. After that, we had Vienna, saw a ballet for €4. That was the cheapest, most magnificent thing I've done over here, seriously. We got standing tickets, you know, some people have forked out heaps of euro to get a good seat in there. We got standing at the back, but perfect vision of the whole stage for €4 of a ballet, where in Vienna every night is a different ballet and opera. I don't know how they do it. They actually lose money of setting up a different opera or a different ballet every night. It's never the same thing. If you go to see an opera or a ballet in Vienna, you will see a different opera or ballet in Vienna than anyone has seen in Vienna. It's amazing. They just do it because they want to be different, and that is truly admirable. Yeah, I think that's amazing. So that was really good because you could see, you know, because it's a once-off performance, they're just going to put everything into it. So the orchestra, the dancers, they were all amazing, and that made Vienna for me. Then we came here to Grunau, and it has just been so relaxing. The quietest place we've been to yet. We're staying in a place called the Tree House. It's impossible not to get to know everyone here. There's between 10 to 20 people here. Everyone knows everyone. It's like a real family feel to it. You get, you know, proper dinners cooked for you every night. Home cooked meals. Not like my mum's though. Hi mum, miss you. But I haven't really reflected on my trip in this detail, and I really love being over here. I think I need to remind myself of that, how amazing my trip has been so far.